Howdy folks, good almost afternoon. Here's the third video today. Once again, still at the Myakka River State Park. However, now I'm at a slight different portion of the state park, kind of at a spot where it kind of opens up into a prairie slash flatwoods section. Yeah, you can see a stark contrast. So you can see right there, we've got our hammock, and then all of a sudden, we have a transition into a prairie-like habitat. And so with that being said, we're gonna see some different types of plants right away, as soon as we change the habitat. So for instance, that's all around us here is there's several species, but they're all described as Lyonia. They're a type of shrub that is found here in Florida. As you can see, they kind of have like a teardrop shape with their leaves, you could say. But then, I noticed as I was walking through here, happened to stumble upon something called Mohr's Thoroughwort, which actually has distant relation with other boneset species. And yeah, most bonesets share the same genus. I can't remember the exact name, but I know that it starts with a G. But this guy, these are perennials. They're a perennial herb that commonly grows, especially in the southern United States. A common distinguishing feature of this plant is when you look along the stem here, the sets of leaves are directly alternate of each other along a stem, but yet they're on the complete other side, as you can see. And then typically in these set of leaves, there's usually up to 5 separate leaves. So you can see the 4 right here, and then there's one that also stands up as well. That's vertical. And you can see that the edges are a bit serrated as well. And with that being said, you go towards the top, and you can see that they have a cluster of quite a few individual flowers here. So like in this case, there's like up to 4 of them. But yeah, they have a common white flower. Kind of reminds you of looking at a brush, as you can see, like right up here. Yeah, this is the Mohr's Thoroughwort. And as you can see, they typically grow up to, just from initial glance, it's probably about 3 feet or so. But yeah, once it approaches winter, these guys will go right back towards the ground. They'll die, and then they are basically reborn for the next year. So you really see them, especially during the summertime, which makes sense, because we technically are in the summertime. But you can just tell, not too long ago, there was a recent burn, as you can see. You see all these dead limbs right here that look a bit black? Well, that's a bit of your carbon right there as a residue. So it's reasonable to say maybe a year or 2 ago, there was a prescribed burn that happened here. Because you can even see with some of the oaks, they look a bit more naked. Just because there isn't as much Spanish moss or any other air plants on the tree. So it's reasonable to say that a prescribed burn happened here quite recently. Excuse me, I just had a mosquito that was on me, so I wanted to get it off. But you may be wondering too, what are those yellowish plants that you see with the yellow heads? That's your classic goldenrod, as a matter of fact. Goldenrods, there are several separate species of goldenrods, but most goldenrod have a wide range in terms of distribution. You know, like I've seen them clear up as far north as Ohio. So then it's to no surprise that you'll even see them down here as well, since they are indeed a common prairie plant. But prescribed burns are very necessary for these habitats, because think of it this way. You know, I've used this analogy before, but I'm going to use it again. Usually with most prescribed burns, it's easily comparable with the rise of the phoenix, you know, from Harry Potter, right? So it basically dies, it burns, and then in the aftermath, there's a new phoenix. Well, the same thing applies here. There's rebirth of new vegetation that is indeed native. And so that also allows it won't allow particular plants to take over of a habitat too much. It's a way to keep the vegetation in check, more or less. And with that being said, in the soil, it also restores nutrients, especially our carbon and even our nitrogen as well. That is essential for plant growth. So prescribed burns are indeed a necessary exercise when it comes to land management. But yeah, like I said, guys, Myakka River State Park has actually been a really neat spot so far. As I said, I really have not been disappointed. So, alrighty. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and, you know, learned some value out of it, you know, in terms of what prescribed burns really provide for these habitats. They are necessary. So, hope all of you enjoy your Wednesday, Wacky Wednesday, Hump Day. And once again, Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.